a God or an alien creator has ever revealed himself to us, then the ball was in my court. If he had not made himself known to us, how could he expect any response from us? On the other hand, if he did reveal himself to us, then we have a problem. He could say, "How come you didn't listen to me or learn from me?" If we evolved, and there is no personal guidance from or attachment with a creator, then I guess we should continue observing the creation for some hidden connection with the silent God. Maybe God is a rock. After all, we went to the moon and brought home rocks. Now we are currently searching Mars and beyond. Will we ever stop looking at rocks to tell us who we are? I have heard it said, if rocks could speak. The question I would like to ask is, would we listen? Keep in mind, I have been pretty tough on every so-called God or gods, but no matter what, I was going to do my best to look at this subject objectively. I was trying to forget all preconceived ideas of the past. I must admit this seemed like an enormous task at the time, but I had to begin. I was compelled to find out for myself if we had ever been visited by someone other than ourselves, someone who claimed to be our creator. We all have heard of someone or someone they know talk about seeing UFOs, and yes, I myself have seen a UFO. I couldn't then or now tell you what it was, but I saw it, and my wife did too. We were together, but neither said anything at first, probably because we couldn't believe what we saw. On the way to Carlsbad Caverns with my grandson, we were passing Roswell, New Mexico, and decided to stop and check out the UFO museum. My grandson and I looked intently at the information about the alleged crash there of a UFO. After a quick look around the museum, my grandson said, "Grandpa, this looks like it is fake." He was 8 years old at the time. Where is the proof? And if a UFO did crash in Roswell, who or what was on the ship? I have had many supernatural encounters, and even some subjective experiences in what I would call the spirit world. But you'd almost have to twist my arm or get me in a headlock to get me to talk about them. Having these marvelous personal experiences, I realized early on that they were not testable to you and others. I also realized these experiences could give me a fat head or make me feel special. I began to realize that for me to talk about my subjective experiences is disheartening. When I've told others of these special personal events, it often left them either desiring the same kind of experiences or wondering why things like this didn't happen to them. This in turn can make both of us feel bad. I'm sure we're all familiar with people who have had life-changing experiences, many of which were the beginnings of another ism. Many who have followed a belief not shared by the majority were considered heretics or witches and were ostracized by their communities. Sometimes they became the leaders of new religions, all because they thought outside the norm of their day. Inventors, scientists, and yes, the religious also had their stories to tell of experience that transformed their lives. There are too many to mention in detail here. It could be a book in itself. What I would like to state, though, is that any religion, train of thought, or philosophy derived from one's personal experiences is sinking sand. Be careful not to build on it. We must focus objectively. The truth must be truth for all mankind, not just for some. Consider the whole human race as one people. If it's beneficial for you, it should be beneficial for the rest of us. If someone doesn't think so, then there's a great possibility they think they are special or unique from the rest of us. Now, I wasn't talking about you, but there are those who think that way. Thank you for taking that cross look off your face. We should all be on a quest of our own, or you might be led by someone else's quest, such as one of the many isms that can cost you your mind and will. Many of us may be too far gone already, totally locked in the form and methods of others. Just take a look at the world's religions and religious practices, and you'll find quite a lot of diversity, all displaying marvelous distinctions to appease their sky gods. After all, I believe it's the sky god's responsibility to reveal himself to us, and not just to somebody secretly. Why is it that we, the masses, follow some religions that were founded on visions, dreams, and experiences of one individual who had this divine revelation in secret? Would anybody go to court and hope to win a case with only one witness? Wouldn't you want at least 2 or 3? Why is it that these individuals who have these special revelations can't be left alone with their wonderful religious experience? Is it our need for answers about a God or creator that makes us glorify the individual and start a religion? And if we don't like that one story or religious experience and the demands of their sky god, we are left to our own devices to locate our own or any god that will have us. So what kind of crazy creatures are we that we don't know if we can please the sky god, no matter what religion or isms we follow? Or try playing God and can't find peace? Again, as I said in an earlier chapter, if there is a God or alien creator, someone out there that can hear us, we need this help now more than ever. Help! I found that throughout recorded history, man has invented gods or deities who they all have had to appease or keep happy. Otherwise, they would face dire consequences. This causes man to always be under condemnation in one way or another, and never finding peace within. We are like abandoned children, constantly wondering why. With all that we have, we still feel like orphans. Mankind has even gone so far as to sacrifice its own children to appease these bloodthirsty, unapproachable sky gods. Why did early civilizations do this? Whether in the north, south, east, or west, all flesh had their own gods. Could it be they all wanted their gods to show up and adopt them as their own? How sad we have been as a people, constantly seeking someone to rule over us and make us their slaves. What if it were just the opposite, that our Creator desired only to serve us, but not like the cookbook creeps we talked about earlier? So you, like I, have a choice to make. You can blindly follow the isms we have on earth today, each believing it is right, or begin your own quest. You see how difficult it is with so many ways pulling and tugging at us. They are all trying to get our vote and our money too. You may say this is too much for you to handle. Before I begin my quest, I would have agreed with you wholeheartedly. I was looking for information about a creator or God, and whether he ever made himself known to mankind. Please note the word mankind. Not me individually, or you individually, but to the entire race. Today, as always, we assume that any so-called God or creator does not have our best interest in mind. This has so premeditated our way of thinking that we actually said, God is dead. Is it that we'd like him to die? Truthfully, I believe the major reason we can't accept the idea of a good God or creator is because we're so evil. That's a simple explanation. In our day and age, we don't care to please anybody out there or here. We have become our own God. We think we know what is best for us. I think most people I have talked with personally have no time for anything but themselves, which in turn makes each of us the God of our own universe. We know if we believe that we're God, then we have the right to make everyone else our subjects, and we don't care if we make others miserable, as long as we're happy. All gods seem to do this, right? Well, maybe we have never understood what God is really like. Those who tell us they have all the answers have a tendency to want to rule over us. We must kiss their ring, give praise and adoration to gurus of all sorts, popes, rabbis, priests, movie stars, celebrities, and various holy men. Even Oprah has a way to find God, that is, the God that fits her lifestyle. Some say, I found God. Was he lost? Here's a question for you. At this time, do you know of anyone who claims that he's not from this world and can prove it? The question remains, have we ever been visited at any time in recorded history by one claiming to be a true alien, that is, not of this world? One who presented himself with concrete and tangible proof that he was truly other than us, who can also answer our question about our who, what, and why. The next question I would ask is, do they know how they began? Upon discovering this alien, my quest came to an end. I can now understand and comprehend the reason for my existence. Without the recognition of this visitation, no one can ever understand their meaning of life, which is also the reason for mankind. This alien friend was quite clear and concise as to his mission while on Earth, and then he returned to his homeland. His visit and message was not for the few, but for everyone who ever lived or will live in the future. He was candid and to the point about who he claimed to be and the purpose of his visit. Publicly, he gave us information that we could never have learned on our own in a million years. The truth about our who we really are, what, temporarily subhuman, and why, the purpose of life itself, so we no longer have to walk in darkness. Upon receiving the truth that this alien revealed, you can truly say, I was blind, but now I see. I found out in my short life that truth has a strange way of finding those who are truthful and desire to live truthfully. Might is not always right, but truth is always light. Those who choose to live by it will have the light and will not walk in darkness. Those who constantly refuse to live by truth automatically lose any light that they had and eventually can't see any longer. I wanted the truth at any cost. This light is purposely covered by those who oppose the truth. They try their best to keep this light from shining for all to see. This one who proved to be from another world or realm helped me see the light, the true light, without which we remain in darkness.